Welcome to Taproot. I am in the initial stages of developing this app and I'd like to share it with you. This is Ned Michaels. He is 32 and in a committed relationship. Ned is in international business and has a lot of dealings with Turkish customers. He travels there frequently for work and likes to explore the open-air markets and try new foods when time permits. He is constantly trying to improve the way he works and thinks being able to speak Turkish with his customers would be a great asset and would also enrich his travel experiences within the country. Ned is my target audience, and I'm keeping his needs in mind as I design my app. So what are Ned's needs and goals? As I said, Ned wants to retain the Turkish language so he can be more successful with clients and have richer travel experiences. He has a very demanding job with a lot of moving pieces, so he needs to be able to learn in small chunks. This is for both efficiency and also because he has a pretty short attention span. It is important to Ned to be able to set reminders to keep himself on track. Ned also wants to be able to gear his lessons toward things that will be helpful to him during his time in Turkey. This brings us to our problem statement. What does Ned need? Ned needs a way to learn to speak Turkish quickly for an upcoming business trip using short study sessions on a daily basis to keep him focused due to his lack of free time and his short attention span. We will know this to be true when Ned is able to speak Turkish confidently in his overseas business dealings as well as his personal adventures within the country. Upon my research, I gleaned some very important overarching themes from our users. Their time is very valuable. Keeping lessons short and easily consumable is very important. On that same token, our users would really like to be able to set reminders that align with their schedule and be able to choose the amount of time they spend learning. They want to have control over what they learn so they aren't wasting their time studying things they don't find interesting. For instance, they want to be able to choose business and travel to focus on. It is important for them to retain what they learn. Now, how can we provide that? We believe that by developing a pre-planned flight of short lessons, as well as creating a fully customizable secondary flashcard library resource, we can achieve Ned's desire to quickly speak and comprehend enough Turkish in a short amount of time. With all this in mind, I designed a prototype that I hope would fit the needs and goals. The app would include an extensive onboarding section to not only help users understand functionality of the app, but also to create stickiness. From there, the user would be guided to create an account which would set them up as a member of the online learning community. From there, you'd be taken to the dashboard. Since my users found reminders so important, here I worked out what that would look like in Taproot. We can navigate to settings, select notifications, set how we would like to receive them, at what time, and at what frequency. In order to further customize their experience in Taproot, our users are able to create a goal by deciding how much time they will spend for each lesson and what their lesson should be focused on. For instance, our users are interested in speaking Turkish. Upon feedback from peers, I also added a workflow for how users of Taproot can create study decks. Here, users are prompted to name their deck, choose their categories they'd like their deck to focus on, and what that would contain. Users then have the option to create their own flashcard or add flashcards from another deck. If they choose to add from another deck, they would be launched into our online community to search for users' decks. For our purposes, though, our users will be creating their own flashcards. Now, they would type in a word they wish to add. The app automatically spell checks what the user types and offers for users to add a pronunciation. This can help with the speech patterns. Then, users can click on Add Image and choose from a gallery or upload their own image. After this, I let some users run wild with prototypes. I had 3 users, aged 29 to 52, give Taproot a go. Their direct tasks were 1. Complete onboarding and checkout dashboard. 2. Toggle notifications. 3. Set a goal. And 4. Create a new deck and add a new term to study. Well, Task 1 was well received. My users moved smoothly through onboarding and made it to the dashboard just fine. Task 2 was also accomplished very easily by my users. All were very excited about this feature. Task 3 was also a success. My users were thrilled to have more ability to customize their experience and found the workflow very easy to navigate. They also enjoyed the rewarding success screen upon completion. And Task 4 was also a success. Phew! Some things I decided to add after user testing, including thinking through what it looks like after users have created a flashcard. Here are the screens a user would see when they click on the flashcards icon at the bottom of the app. A user could go through the decks they created, decks that are shared with study partners online, or they have the ability to see other decks for inspiration. These decks are then broken down further by the categories a user has chosen for them. From there, we are launched into a deck where our flashcards appear. One of my users' biggest critiques was my flashcards icon in my navigation bar doesn't look like a flashcard. While this might be calling my sketching skills into question, this is definitely an easy fix once we begin to develop the app in software as opposed to freehand. So what did we learn here? User feedback before and after testing is vital to creating a functional and user-friendly app. Feedback prior to building gives us a roadmap of what to build and why. User feedback after we've built something is to make sure we've done it right or to see where the cracks in our foundation are. Low fidelity wireframing is a key piece of UX. It helps us to iterate and receive user feedback quickly. No use in making something pixel perfect before we fix the bones of it. Keep it simple. Every app serves a utilitarian purpose. Our users are strapped for time. Bells and whistles are not necessary to give users a wonderful and useful experience. UX is about trial and error, process and iteration. Don't be afraid to mess up. That's when we have our breakthroughs. Thank you for your time.